What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Team Kitchen Fable video. Jacob here. I'm joined by my teammate Steven commentating, and we're going to be commentating over a Flesh and Blood competitive Team League game with our other teammate, Chad Spencer, against his opponent on Hometown TCG Ascent. Looks like it's going to be an exciting one with Katsu and Kano, and this week specifically, we're playing all off-meta decks, so no Viserai, no Prism, and no Starvo. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, me too.
All right, looks
At
like
least the
we are
die
off to
roll.
the die roll, and it's a
Lamau. This
tie.
is why we don't like. This is why we don't like high roll.
Shout out to Hasiel on our team. He hates high roll for this exact
Yeah.
reason. All
Oh,
right.
the same
Kano
roll too.
wins.
Kano wins.
Kano is the hero I know the least about. They
Yep.
still probably want to go first. They get an arsenal or maybe get an item down or something, I assume.
Yeah. One no rune boots. I'm guessing that's just at least for the rune blades. Oh, they also let Katsu go first. Very interesting.
Oh, that is
Uh,
interesting.
wow, one no rune. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely seems like it's hard to respect Kano with deck lists. I feel like deck lists are always so tight. One of the hardest things for me is finding cuts when you're editing like the last couple cards in your list. So finding room for extra Norrune is always difficult. So and it's definitely a surprise, but this week with being off meta, there was a little bit more of a chance. All
Mm.
right, so we see a Kodachi chipping in, and then just a Command and Conquer. Looks like he wants to get yellows and reds out of his hand and at least pressure some damage.
Yeah. It is the first turn, so I think I expected to see a nice full block of this command and conquer,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's it's gonna be really rough with one null rune equipment.
Yeah,
Um,
this
Kano's gonna get a
Kano.
lot of free damage.
Yeah, this Kano got Eye of Ophidia turn one as well, so that's pretty nice start. Just seeing what's on top, filtering for his next hand, and maybe even doing some damage this time. But yeah, Chad's gonna have to work real hard to get some combos set up. Hopefully, he's got a really good card left to Arsenal after this.
Yep, Kano's thinking really hard about this because I think that if you start blocking as Kano, yeah, I think you're kind of in a losing position there, even with only one null rune from the opponent. Uh, yeah, letting the Katsu go first, and then going on your turn to just do pretty much almost max damage is going to be the ideal thing here. And it looks like kept both on top. Oh,
Starting
wildfire
off
on
with
the
the Aether
first turn.
Wildfire.
Goodness.
Yeah, so this is the one that boosts all your stuff
Oh,
by X, where X is how much Aether does, and if it's your opponent's turn, that is. So it looks
hmm
like he's casting. I just missed. Did that Tome of Find All come off the top as well?
yes, it did. It was an opt 2 from the Eye of Ophidia, and it was just keep both on top. Aether first, and then the Tome of Find Out, and then cast the Tome of Find Out instantly. Looks like now we're going to cast the Aether Wildfire. Let's see how much damage it's going to get away with. This is a pretty strong first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might even take the 6 from Command and Conquer, because honestly the on-hit effect doesn't mean anything, but if there's a lot coming from this Aether... Oh, another red.
Ooh, how worth it do you think it is to just keep that Ancestral in Arsenal to help for your next turn?
Yeah, it's probably, if anything, yeah, probably should have kept the Ancestral Empowerment. Oh, goodness.
Oh
What's this?
man. Even has the Aether Flare? Or no, the Aether Flare looks like he got blocked with.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yep. That makes
All right,
sense. So
so
let's stand
turn
back into
one,
that.
yeah, Kano does 11. Katsu gets across 3 damage.
hmm
And then Kano gets to draw back up. That's a pretty huge turn one for the Kano player.
Yeah, 11 damage, turn 0 is really strong. So we'll see what happens now. No Arsenal from Katsu, which, it would have taken 2 extra damage and saved
Hmm.
that. I think it was definitely worth it. But yeah, we'll see. Um, okay, another tome. Yeah, so straight up just big damage turn. Voltic Bolt for 6, right? Usually 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be pretty much unblockable. Only one arcane barrier over here. I think Chad's just gonna elect to take the 6, and then hopefully he
hmm
can do some more damage on his turn.
Yeah, with the 4-card hand, definitely, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's see another tome to the bottom. So that's no draw power there. Starting with some Kodachis, I'm guessing. Yep. trigger
Yep,
these.
pitches the blue whelming, so these Kodachi's gonna have go again.
Mm-hmm.
I
Really
don't see a
want to,
world where Kano blocks the Kodachis at all.
yeah, or yeah, might block it early because I think understanding that you want to minimize the on hits for this max of momentum because on hits really are going to be the thing that really slows the Kano down. Seeing another CNC so early on is actually pretty good, especially this time. Kano actually has an arsenal, so going to be some thinking here.
Yeah, that's a good point, just stopping the mask blocks. I suppose, given that the Kano knows Katsu is on one arcane barrier only, he's looking to end the game as fast as possible, I assume,
Mhm.
because he could theoretically win in the race. And if he uses his equipment to block the mask triggers aggressively, then that's just going to help him on these earlier turns.
Free energy potion. Pretty good start for the Kanoing here.
Yep, trade a blue now for 2 resources in the future is not bad at all.
Hmm. Let's see. Oh, taking the 6. All right. Not even blocking, so taking care of that snap. Snapback would have been so good if he got an attack there on the Kano trigger. Would have been able to play the snapback, so CNC's on hit would have been nothing. So
Ooh,
maybe a little unlucky there, but still, Energy Potion is a great setup card anyway, so it's not
yeah.
terrible news here. Okay, I'm guessing another Voltic Volt Light like attack. Just use Crucible. 2 more damage here. 2 more resources for Reverberate. That's an interesting one.
Interesting.
Mm,
So, yeah, it's like how much do the on hit matter? But also, if you only have one arcane barrier, it matters even less. So I think Chad's committing it's not worth it to pitch a red or even a blue to stop one arcane, especially if he only has one card left in hand, and the likelihood that he can use it from the reverberate is pretty low if it's only his last card.
mm-hmm. And yeah, Reverberate just one of those cards that really punishes the no ruin situation here. If that
Mhm.
Reverberate would have been at the top, would have been obviously way more scarier. But even then, like yeah, just free damage all around. This is gonna be a really fast game. Both players already
Yeah.
at 19. All right, taking the 5. Okay, I'm guessing it's gonna give a chance for Chad to get yep, the Whelming Gust Wave here.
Yeah, so at 19 health, I think Chad's already theoretically in kill range, especially with an energy potion out and an arsenal. It's going to be even scarier with the tunic counter up on the next turn. Um, so it's really good that Chad's getting an aggressive turn right now.
Mm-hmm. That is really good. Um, I think if I were thinking about this, it's probable that Kano will block with 2 cards throughout this turn, and then uh and then like save the rest of his cards to do some damage and get him into a more easier kill range. Interesting. So we're seeing a Razor Reflex or an Art of War.
Hmm.
So it went up to. Is this enough? It's at 4. It went up to 5, and then that makes it go up to 6. Okay. Just in the
Yep.
Vanish and +1 mode. Okay, so this is going to make the Whelming Gust Wave hit, which is really good. Going to get to draw another card, and hopefully Chad can like keep this chain going and be extra aggressive on this. But that was really useful to keep this aggression up. Okay, now
Yeah.
Kano can't really. He's going to have to decide really about this third attack is also. Ooh, that's a little
Hmm.
unfortunate. That could have been a Mask of Momentum trigger.
Yeah, it's possible that he just drew into some duds from the Art of War, or he
Mhm.
is planning on trying to trigger mask at the end and seeing if he could bait some blocks out.
All right.
We got the
We'll
pounding
say if there
gale.
were sort of duds, I understand why you would want to throw the Kodachis out here. I think might have been worth it to pay that Pounding Gale, make the Kano block a little harder, but then they don't have Noah go again. Yeah, because we have Null Rune boots, not the other boots.
Yeah.
Well, the Kano even blocked here, which is very good for him. Okay, so
Yeah,
that
so
stifles the Kano aggression a lot.
yeah, all in all, still a pretty good turn. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the mass trigger there, but um, he still got the Kano down to 8, and his attacks are going to be a lot scarier now. And Kano's only got one card in hand, so we might actually see the Kano have to
Mm.
go off. Ooh, he gets the energy potion down. That's pretty good if you're the Kano player.
Yep. I think Chad needs to be super aggressive here, force the Kano to go off, and then it's just gonna have to be a little lucky here. That's a lot of setup from the Kano side, a lot of energy potions, so any attack is gonna
Yeah.
be brutal. Okay, no more skull cap here. If I had to guess, if the second Kodachi comes through, I'm going to see a tunic use activation and then tunic block. If
Yeah.
we're really um, being, I don't know, five head about this, because I think this is the turn that the Kano does have to go off.
Yeah, I
I think you
mean,
still wait.
it's very hard to live against a Katsu who's got 5 cards in hand when you're only on 8 life, and like you said, only having Tunic is the only equipment piece.
Mhm.
So I think the Kano has to make some hard decisions here, and we might actually see some long thinking because I think that's going to be a big part of the turn, is if Kano can get a kill.
Okay, interesting. So I see. Yep, that's just like I thought. Also, the Kano should be at 7 here. Oh, there we go. It
Yeah.
was like lagging a lot. All right, looking
So it
for.
looks
Ooh,
like he used the one resource to activate Crucible ahead of time. He could have
mhm.
just left that resource in his pool over there. It's not going to like go away in between phases like in Magic. It'll stay until the end of turn.
Yeah.
But he could, of course, just know for a fact he's going to Crucible. It's just one thing is like keep the information hidden as long as possible. But it's pretty obvious that you're going to Crucible as much as possible on Kano.
Yep. And
So we
then,
see a Rising Knee Thrust, which sadly does not have Go again, but hopefully that means we have a Razor Reflex in the Katsu's hand.
yep, I'm also thinking about that, and I think that's what the Kano is thinking about as well. Razor
Hmm.
Reflex would put a big wrench into the plan, um, and then force to go off here. Let's see what the Kano decides to do. Yeah, because that Tunic Resource plus an energy pot was kind of like a quote-unquote free Kano activation, so maybe
Yeah.
a little bit early on that Crucible Razor Weave, but should be still has a lot of resources to work with here. So, um, yeah, I think Kano should. Because if it's 2 Razor Reflex, then you're like really forced to go off. If it's 1, then it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to know. If it's just one, he only has 2 cards left in hand, so whatever he does after that, if it's not a 0 cost, is going to reveal everything, and then Kano can make decisions with perfect knowledge of what his opponent's turn and hand looks like.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think the Kano has to just wait. Uh, I feel like playing around 2 Razor Reflexes is kind of difficult here, and we're also only a couple turns into the game, so he didn't necessarily have time to arsenal one and save till he gets the other.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I
Mm.
think that's definitely what's going through the Kano's mind here. He's thinking about, if it's a double Razor and I'm just dead, then I'm forced to go off in a worse position. But if I can wait till I get more information, so we might see maybe like 1 card blocking here.
Ooh, there it is. I'm guessing the
Okay.
decision was no block. It seems because we went over all the way to the reactions. It's still at 1, so Kano could still wait even one more attack here.
Oh, that's not a
Uh,
mask trigger.
yeah, that is not a mass trigger. I'm guessing they'll talk about it and they'll make sure that they know. But yeah, the second Kodachi did not hit. Definitely a
Okay.
Kano trigger, so you could get what's it called? The finishing line for after Rising Nithros. It's
I
Blackout
think it's
Kick,
Blackout Cake, yeah.
and there's also the other one. There's 2. There's another one that like if
Interesting.
it hits, it goes back to hand. So Kano's deciding to go off now in response to the
Yeah.
trigger of Katsu. I think that's a good hit. That's a red Emeritus Scalding. Yeah, that's 6 damage already.
Do you think we
So
should just, if we're Kano, do you think you just wait until you see what the Katsu discards and searches for?
I
Get some more
think
information before trying to go off?
I think this is also like an okay play. I think what's happening is um, denying the Katsu trigger if possible. If like maybe the Kano player dishes out so much damage that they can't even discard
Hmm.
a 0 to come out. Um, so I think that's why the Kano decided to go off now, and they're
Okay.
gonna go with using the boots now. Guessing a reverberate or maybe another Aether Wildfire. Something big is gonna come up here. Okay, Lesson in Lava. That's a yellow. And using the final resource. Oof,
Ooh. Yeah,
that
that's kind of
that
huge.
uh, that is really huge.
So he
Um,
uses the Storm Striders to be able to cast Aether Wildfire at instant speed, It's going to deal 4 plus 1 from Crucible and 1 from Metacarpus. That's 6. And
Mm-hmm.
however much damage it deals, it's going to boost his future attacks by that much as well.
Yep, he has to block as much as possible, see if we can
Mm.
survive. But I don't know. It's going to be really rough. This is going to also going to be 11. This is going to take 5 down to 14. This Emeritus already is coming for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That might have been a bit of a misplay. It looks like he drew for Mask Momentum. It looks like it might have not been a big of a difference with the situation. There's still another 0 that could have been discarded. I think it still died even if they didn't draw the card. But it looks like, I
Yeah.
don't know if they're in the other voice chat. Yeah, so they're talking about the same situation. Like, hey, it still would have been not that different if they didn't draw, but yeah, that was fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
had it to be a scary game for Chad. If he draws an
mhm.
off turn, not having access to Null Rune is going to be very horrible. I do know Chad's list is more on the aggressive side, and it's got a lot of different combo lines access in it right now. So it does just put out a lot of damage, which is good.
Mhm.
Uh, and even then, I think the Kano was very close to getting a kill. Chad's life
Yeah.
total says 14 right now, but it was going to go down by a lot. I think that's Emeritus Scolding, like you said, was coming in for 12.
Mhm.
Um, and
Uh, I think the only thing that would have made the Kano win was on top of all this, if this in the arsenal was a snapback, then that definitely would have been
mm,
lethal. It just like it had to be. It seems like they had a snapback in hand. I wonder if they were like maybe like 1 or 2 resources off. I think in the situation, if they thought about it a little more, maybe they didn't pay for the Mericarpus or the Crucible of Aetherweave at all. There could have been a game where the Kano could have kind of like run away with that game. I'd have to
yeah,
go back and redo the math, but I think Snapback being boosted by the Aether Wildfire would have been like more net damage. So very interesting game overall. Wow, that was a fast one.
yeah, that was definitely fast. I wish we were in the lobby to hear what they were saying, but I
Mhm.
think you're right. If the mass trigger was not taken, I think it's still enough damage to get through there.
Yeah.
And kill the Kano. But wow, that was a quick one.
Yeah.
Pretty cool
I guess.
still to see 2 heroes that are not necessarily represented in the meta.
Mhm.
Um,
Especially Kano. That was
yeah.
you could say it could have been fortunate for Chad because also I believe Art of War. I don't know how ingrained
Mm,
into the Katsu list that card is. That was a bit of an interesting choice for sure,
hmm.
and it really paid off there, getting that over the top in that Whelming Gust Wave turn, so that you could do a little bit of extra damage. Um, so yeah, that was nice. That was great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy that we got to see these heroes. I personally don't have very much experience playing Kano at all, so I
Hmm.
always like getting to watch the games. And I know Chad is an avid Katsu player, so I'm glad that he got to get to play Katsu. He's been playing a lot of Viserai outside of practice games, so it's pretty cool to get to see some Chad Katsu skills. But thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Give a like and subscribe if you think it's worth it, and keep an eye out for future videos. And we'll see you next time.